Hey, what's going on? It's the Petrol List.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Dalton from the Petrol List. And I got to do a quick disclaimer. I went on a staycation with my wife. We went up to Oklahoma City. It's gorgeous. Kind of reminds me of the Pacific Northwest where we lived for a very long time. It was kind of gray and there are a lot of people wearing flannel. Oh my gosh, it just felt so good to see hipsters with neck tattoos and depressing music. I don't know, it just warmed my heart. Anyhow, that's the reason why today's video is late. It's Monday evening. As soon as I get done talking to this camera, I'm going to be editing so that I can make sure that this video gets out to all 45 of my subscribers, because that's what I said I would do. I told myself I'm going to do this for a year consistently. That's where we are. All right, you know what? Let's get into it. The Las Vegas Grand Prix. There was so much that went on. There was such good racing, and I gotta be honest, the pig-shaped track provided some of the best racing that we've seen all season. I know that there are some teams that got, better with their concept, with their engineering, and the cars are doing a lot better than they were in the beginning of the season, and maybe the pig track was a culmination of all those things, and it doesn't matter about the track so much as the teams getting their acts together, but the racing was phenomenal. So I was wrong. I was wrong about the track itself. The racing was beautiful, it was dynamic, and I honestly have no complaints about it. Now, that's not to say that there weren't some crazy things that happened. Let's talk about Carlos Sainz and qualifying in that miniature manhole cover, ripping the bottom half of his car off. That was nuts. And then him getting a 10th place grid penalty because of it. I think the FIA has some things to work out amongst themselves. But overall, I think it was good. All right, let's get into some of the stuff that happened. I said in my notes, because I take notes, I'm the guy with a notepad, it was one of the best races of the year. I mean it. So the cars were sorted, there was a long DRS zone, and who knows, maybe the design of the track was made for overtakes. I mean, there were just some amazing overtakes. I can't remember exactly what turn it was. Maybe it was turn 12. Does it have that many turns? I'm not sure, but there were some good ones there. But this was the fourth crash on lap 1 in 4 races. Do the cars need to get smaller? I think so, but that's not going to happen at least until 2026. Should they start doing a formation start instead of a standing start? Maybe. Should the standing starts have larger grid separations? Perhaps. But in the era of a Red Bull car that is so dominant out of the gates, and he's got a whole bunch of top end speed and separates himself from the pack so much, would having an extra 5 feet in between first place, second place, would that make a positive difference, or would that make for just more boring racing? I don't know. It's tough to consider because something does have to change. Maybe they do a standing start and they say no passing. That'd be complicated. No passing for the first lap. No passing for the first 3 turns. You can't do that. You can't do that. But something has to change. I don't know what it is. I'm just making observations. Verstappen pushed Leclerc wide on turn 1. This is something that some people have been saying about Verstappen, is he doesn't necessarily have the best racecraft. I can tell you one thing, he's got better racecraft than I do. But amongst the 20 best drivers in the world, is he a little bit of a bull in a china shop, especially when he gets under pressure? Yeah. He's kind of that crazy guy on iRacing. You see him coming and you're like, oh, geez, this guy, he's going to ruin my race. Because in that instance, if Leclerc did not move out of the way, he'd have been toast. Verstappen was definitely ready to crash into Leclerc, end his own race, if it meant securing a victory for him. And that's something that you got to watch out for. And I think that's something that other drivers do find reprehensible. And that's maybe why he's not the most popular guy out there, with the exception of hardcore Red Bull fans. If you're out there, I know you're already typing in the comments. It's okay. I have 45 subscribers. I can endure. I'm not in it for the popularity. I'm in it because I love doing this. But I think he could work on his racecraft a little bit. He's excellent when he's got the fastest car, and he's a bit of a bull in a china shop when he doesn't. Like, we know that. Norris crashing in turn 12, it was kind of this mysterious track thing where he lost traction in the rear tires. I think there was maybe like an elevation change. I mean, these cars drive at super constricted tolerances, and you mess that up and you're gonna lose your downforce, you're gonna lose that mechanical grip. And I watched that replay over and over again, and I didn't see Norris doing anything wrong. I think the track did, and I think that's the second track gremlin that came out of nowhere and ultimately caused a whole bunch of troubles. Celebrity sightings. That just reminded me of how much I personally don't care about seeing celebrities around Formula One tracks. They're great in movies, they're great in TV shows, but when you see a celebrity in the pits and they're listening to the radio as if they're contributing, or in certain cases understanding what's going on, or caring what's going on, it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't give me any warm fuzzies. So Las Vegas, while the track was, I think in my opinion, successful, and again, I was wrong on that. I think the track was amazing. The celebrity sightings, the pageantry, and overall some of the cheesiness, I could have honestly done without. Piastri clipped Hamilton, sending him from 6th place and climbing to 19th. And the fact that Hamilton was able to come back up to, I believe it was 7th place, I mean, that's kind of some driver of the day stuff right there. And yeah, I'm a Hamilton fan as a driver, but you got to give it to him. That was some pretty signal stuff, right? Verstappen versus Russell, the collision. Russell was definitely at fault. I kind of wanted it to be Verstappen to be at fault, because that could prove my point a little further, that, you know, the whole bull in a china shop thing. But Russell clearly turned in. Verstappen versus Perez to retake the lead. That was another case of you guys had the same car, somebody drove it better, and that was clearly some amazing driving. The lap 45 battle between Lewis Hamilton and I can't remember who else it was, but Hamilton took either the inside or the outside lane. It was a gorgeous pass. Showed a lot of bravery, a lot of skill, and it shows you what Hamilton in that Mercedes could have done with the race pace. It was quite good. And then lastly, but definitely not least, was the brilliant pass from Leclerc. It was Leclerc v Perez, lap 50. I can't do it justice. I'm just gonna roll the clip. It was really great. What next? Is it possible that Las Vegas, at least in the second half of this season, is it possible that Las Vegas was the best race that we're going to have seen of the season? What does Abu Dhabi have coming up for us? I don't know, but I think that we were in for a real treat with that Las Vegas race, and I'm happy to be proven wrong, because half the time when I'm proven wrong, it's just more reason for me to be happy about something, because I'm wrong. And Las Vegas, that was a great race. I'm looking forward to next season's Las Vegas race, and I think you should be too. Perhaps the engineering and the design of the track was such that passing is encouraged, and somebody got it right. Maybe they shaped it like a pig on purpose, or maybe it had to have been shaped like a pig to get that quality of racing. Either way, gotta take my hat off. That was good. Not honestly that much more to say about that race. It was very dynamic. I didn't come to any crazy unique conclusions other than the fact that there are a lot of really good drivers on the grid, and give any of them a decent competitive car and they're going to shine. I wonder if going into next season, if Red Bull is going to be so dominant. I think that they're going to be dominant. Are they going to be as dominant? I don't know. Because even Leclerc, and this guy, he has some moments of brilliance, the likes of which we haven't seen for a while. His ability to trust the brakes and brake late. Now, he did have one slip up where his late braking did cause him some headache, but over and over again, Leclerc was the bravest driver on the track. And that was cool. I'm looking forward to next season. I know we've got some season to go, but I mean, the story's already told. We already know who wins, all this stuff. I'm struggling actually to come up with more to say about the Las Vegas race. If you didn't see it, I would encourage you just to go back and see it, to go back and watch it. It was incredibly dynamic. And I have no complaints other than some of the hype was a little bit weird. As a longtime racing fan, there's an interview with Verstappen when he was like, yeah, if you're a fan of the Las Vegas race and you came to Vegas to see it, you might just be a fan of raves. He didn't say it like that. I'm saying it like that. You might just be a fan of big parties. You might just be a big fan of celebrity sightings. You might be a fan of going out and having a bunch of drinks and then seeing cars, go around in a loop at 200 miles an hour. And you might not be a fan of racing. I agree with that. You could have watched the Las Vegas Grand Prix and not be a fan of racing. You really could have enjoyed yourself. You'd have seen all the celebrities that you wanted to. You'd have seen the laser shows and the drone show and all these other kind of things. And the cars could have been secondary. They could have been third. They could have been fourth, fifth, sixth on your list because you had a whole bunch of other stuff to distract you. And the cars were nothing more than, dinner and a show. And I can see when you're hurtling around a track at 200 miles an hour when you kind of want a little more respect for your craft. I agree with Verstappen in that sense, and it would be interesting to see if that race was held out in the middle of the desert without all-you-can-eat buffets, if that many people would have bought tickets and tuned in. But at the end of the day, sport is entertainment, and Liberty Media, and I will just say American media knows a thing or two about entertainment and drawing people in. And it's that fine line between what's good for the sport as a business and what's good for the sport in terms of respect. I don't know. It's a fine line. It's a fine line. But for me, Las Vegas was a success. I'm looking forward to the next race in Vegas. And it'll be interesting to see if they tone down the spectacle or if they turn it up. But that's all I got. I'll see you next time. I'm out.